We are tired. My people are tired. I've probably cried every day since I've seen the George Floyd video. And I can say that honestly, a lot of the feelings were feelings from several of a lot of the injustices that we have had to experience over the last few years in my lifetime alone, let alone a lot of the experience that have been shared with me from my grandmother, my mother, my aunts, uncles, I think it's very important right now that I address a real issue, because I keep getting asked the question, why isn't anybody talking about black on black violence? So I want to start here because I do understand, and I want everybody to think about this logically. I can understand and accept the fact that a lot of our history hasn't been taught to us. A lot of our history has been thrown away, it's been changed, it's been altered, and it's been made to make us look like the criminal. That being said, a lot of the ways of the world, racism and just the way people think, has been perpetuated by this same idea. Racism is a prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. So with that being said, racism is something that can be taught, and it's something that can just naturally become a part of your everyday life, just what you see, what you hear. And this includes black people as well. If you constantly see black people being portrayed in a bad light or in a bad way, or as criminals, or as thieves, or the people that are doing the robberies and the people that are doing all the crime in the country, because that's all the media is showing you, then of course you're going to think the same way about your own people. That's what makes it a hoax. It's a hoax. Black on black crime is a hoax. There's the same thing as white on white crime. There's the same thing as Asian on Asian crime. Any neighborhood of people that live amongst each other is going to have crime amongst each other. Once they get to know each other and they start doing business together or with each other, or having enemies amongst each other, there's going to be issues. That's human nature. The fact that it's only being filmed or only being documented and statistics are only being shown from black communities, and I'm going to get back to why I'm quoting the communities part, is it's a hoax. It's to make black people look bad. It's no different than when the media has shown us all our lives as black people that the motherland, our home, is nothing but fields of jungles, and people are walking around with grass skirts and no shirts, and they need money and donations to make it. There's no civilization, no running water. That is what they have fed to us for years. Seriously, I want people to actually Google and actually look up things going on in Africa. Africa is looking a whole lot better than the United States. So let's just go there. And it has been for a very long time. A lot of the things that we are doing and a lot of the things that we learn and adopt come from Africa. A lot of the things that have been taught to all different countries and that have brought all different countries to civilization originated from Africa. So do you really think that the place where civilization first originated, and math and science and astrology and all these great things, do you think that they're over there without running water and they can't figure out how to build a building, or they can't figure out how to make some clothing? But that's what the media will show you. And I'm sure a lot of Africans or even people in other countries could probably say the same about Americans, and especially black Americans. I have a friend that is from Ethiopia. She specifically let me know that she's raised in Africa to do what you can to get to America to be successful, but when you get there, don't associate yourself with black people. And I'm not saying every Ethiopian family teaches their kids that, but at the end of the day, if all they see is robberies, shootings, black on black crime, the show Cops, Who are they arresting and throwing in jail? Black people. So if that's all you're fed in the media of the people that look like you, then of course you're going to have a certain fear of that. And it would be no different if the media only showed other different nationalities in that light. So I want people to kind of think about that from a logical perspective. Back to the quote-unquote communities part. I understand, and I'm not going to sit here and say I don't agree with the protest, because we are upset. We're mad. We have been for a very long time, and things happen when you get mad. You want to protest. You want someone to hear you. You want to be heard. The fact that a lot of these protests are turning violent, one, have nothing to do with black people. Let's just be clear. So since we want to have someone that's not going to say any names, since we want to have someone that's saying, oh, there's no evidence of this group or this group being at these protests, of course there's no evidence, because this has been going on since the beginning of time. It's been going on since the beginning of us organizing protests. While we're organizing, so are they. But back in the day, protests were actually organized. MLK, they would meet somewhere. They would have these meetings. Black Panther, they would have these meetings. They would get together and they would have a plan. We went out, we were upset, we wanted to be heard, and we wanted to be heard now. So we went out and we kind of set ourselves up for that, because people that are not out there for the same fight and that are not there to see us progress and don't want us to progress will come out there, throw the first rock and get the rally started and get everybody riled up, and then leave. And then by the time the police show up to diffuse what's going on, all they see is the people that were there to protest, which is us. So let's just start there. The communities. I keep hearing people saying, why are they burning down their own communities? Truth be told, black people don't own nothing in this country. Nothing. Nothing. Okay? There's not one black owned community in the United States of America. That says a lot in itself. So to say we're burning down our communities, no we're not. No we're not. So let's flip the switch one time, because now I want to address the issue of what I've been thinking about. I've been thinking today, and I know a lot of us have seen the video of the guy that's going around in the barbershop, and he's doing the interview, and he's calmly explaining basically systematically how racism has started and will continue in this country unless people start to become accountable for their part in it, whether it's direct or indirect, whether you see it going on and you don't stop it, or whether you're a part of it actually going on and you're a part of the system, or you're in a position that can keep people oppressed. I feel like the more I thought about that, I felt like we can approach this differently. We already have this blackout date coming up where we are only going to spend our money with black owned businesses. What if, this just might be crazy, what if we only spent our money with black owned businesses?